Yo, what's up squad, back again with another banger. If you're new to the channel and you enjoy the content, hit that subscribe button / notification bell to join the Sauce Squad and start receiving weekly bangers. No more talking, roll the clip.
People try to tell me I'm an African American, but that's not true.
What? So here we have 16-year-old Treasure, ironic name indeed because she's anything but that, who fully believes that she's Caucasian. Now as twisted as that may seem, she goes further by discriminating and acting like a full-on white supremacist to her own race. This girl tripping more than a homie on LSD. See for yourself.
African Americans are loud, rude, obnoxious, and just altogether fat and ugly.
If you ask me, my 16-year-old daughter has a very out-of-control identity crisis. She truly believes she's white.
So what the hell have you been doing? As beautiful as the mother is, how's this still going on? Like if my mama caught me acting like this, forget the Dr. Phil show, I wouldn't make it to my next birthday. Just being honest.
When Treasure was 5 years old, I've noticed Treasure was having issues with her race. She wouldn't play with the black children. Treasure would mangle or destroy her black dolls. She would cut their heads off, pull off their arms. She would pretend that they were the white dolls' slaves.
No, see, we ain't having that. Now let me be very clear. I love kids, but I'm easily creeped out by kids. You know in those horror movies where kids are having tea parties and talking to apparently nobody at 3 AM? Or the kids who like to draw black figures and hang them up all over their walls? Yeah, that's a let me get the fuck out of here. Same thing. 5-year-old ripping limbs off black dolls and portraying slavery? Yeah, fuck that. I don't care who you are, you're not my kid.
I felt mortified. I was a single mom trying to support a family. We couldn't afford to stay in our beautiful home. We moved from a mostly white, affluent neighborhood to the city, which was mostly African American.
From the suburbs to the hood.
That's definitely a key factor to take into consideration. I'm assuming that they can no longer afford their lifestyle due to a divorce, and depending on how she was raised growing up, all of these factors could have influenced her to feel a certain way about different ethnicities.
I was not anything like other black people. They were all hood rats and they were all ghetto. They all act like monkeys.
Yeah, you lost your goddamn mind. You're definitely African American, because I can tell you right now that there's no 16-year-old white kid in their right mind who would say that shit on national TV and expect to survive to see the next sunrise.
Her school was predominantly African American. She started to say very racist things in public. Like, I hate black people's hair, they're dirty. She would call them the N-word.
It made me feel good to put down an African American person because it helps them stay in their place.
No, you need to hush and stay in your place. Your teeth needs to go back and stay in their place. Your teeth are literally the epitome of how segregated you feel. Sorry, not sorry.
Don't you cross this middle line. You're not one of us. We're all teeth. Shut up, just shut up. You'll never be one of us.
What I find the most disturbing is my daughter is consumed with the Ku Klux Klan. It just shakes me to my core. Treasure, have you ever reached out to the KKK?
I have their number on speed dial. Call KKK. They keep me like current on like updated events. I've had the KKK's number since I was like in middle school.
Greetings from the loyal white knights of the Ku Klux Klan. Another 8 chimp out, this time in Washington, D.C. 20-year-old silverback gorilla.
What the fuck?
Oh lordy, you see how disrespectful she acts towards her mother? It's literally a slap in the face, and I have no one to blame but her mother. You think Mama Sauce is gonna let this fly? Yo son, you ever contacted the KKK? Actually mama, prank called them.
Get your little ass down and you better pray, son. You better pray you see sunrise by the time I'm done with you.
I identify with the Ku Klux Klan because the way they believe is just so smart. White is right. White power.
I am lost for words. I'm lost for words. I don't think this girl understands. She doesn't fit the admission requirement. Ironically, this reminds me exactly of a Dave Chappelle skit.
Look at your face. We want to see your face. Who said that? You want to see my face? Clayton, go on, brother. Do you want to see my face? Don't be afraid, Jasper. We talked about that. Don't be afraid.
My daughter does spend a lot of time on social media. I don't even look at her Facebook page. It's too painful. As a parent, I kept expecting her to just outgrow it and thinking she would change.
I don't care what other people think. I'm gonna do what I want.
You know, when it gets to this point, as a parent, I think it's called cancel the fucking phone bill. She wants to act like this on her phone, let her go out there and work in the real world and see how far she lasts being this ignorant. It's hard love and she needs it.
I know a lot of people take issue with my beliefs. I'm white. I'm a Caucasian because Everything about me is different from an African American.
Does she consider her family Caucasian then? Because it's obvious as day that her mother's African American, so unless she doesn't understand how biology works, I don't know how her 3 brain cells could identify her as a full white female. Logic.
I have naturally straight hair. My hair isn't nappy. It doesn't require weave. My nose is not giant as like African Americans. My lips are perfect. They're not too big and they're not too small. Like, they're just perfect. My ears, I don't have black people ears.
What the fuck is a black ear? I understand a certain race may have features that are biologically more common than others, but she believes that these features are mutually exclusive to African Americans. Honey, you would be wrong. There's people of all races that have big ears, big lips, and big noses. Nothing you just said made any fucking sense. You sound stupid.
My ears, I don't have black people ears.
Dumbass motherfucker.
Most African Americans speak ghetto. But when it comes to black people, I think they're all ugly and I have nothing in common with them. I'm different from African Americans because I'm white.
No, you're different from African Americans because you're delusional. People aren't born talking ghetto. It's a slang from where they're from and the culture within that area. She's stereotyping a whole race to an ethnicity.
My figure is just like Kim Kardashian and she's a wonderful role model.
Whether Kim Kardashian is a good role model is up for debate. Although Kim is a marketing genius and we'll leave it at that. But I do want to say that last I recall, Kim is married to Kanye. Kanye is African American. You know, the same people you so want to disassociate yourself from. I can guarantee you that Kim Kardashian would slap the shit out of you for speaking that nonsense.
My figure is just like Kim Kardashian.
Dumbass motherfucker.
I act and I think like a white person instead of a black person. I believe that I'm completely and utterly better than them. Like, we're on 2 different levels. Like, okay, African Americans are here, I'm here.
Yes, high as a bird. Lay off the weed, you're smoking too much bullshit.
When I think about African Americans, I feel like asking them, what is wrong with them?
No, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Soulja Boy.
They're really dangerous. If an African American is on the same street as I am, I'll cross the street to avoid their chaotic, thuggish way.
And that person should thank the Lord for moving your ignorant ass to the other side of the street. Hell, if I'm walking that way, do the same thing. I don't want your stupid shit rubbing off on me.
Are you okay?
I'm irritated.
I'm sorry.
I just know that I'm white. I mean, she might not know that I'm white, but I know that I'm white. I can feel it through my veins. I feel it through my blood.
If I wake up one day and feel in my veins that I'm Jon Snow, King of the North, ruler of the 7 realms, son to Lyanna Stark and Rhaegar Targaryen, does not mean I'm Jon Snow. And you may feel white, whatever the fuck that means, but you're still who you are. That's how dumb you sound. So you can miss me with that bull.
I tell my mom I'll never be like any of those Negroes. My mom tries to criticize me about my supposed race. I tell her she's just ignorant. There's nothing wrong with my views or beliefs because I have freedom of speech and everything I'm saying is true.
What a beautiful world we live in today. Now, if you're not into the ancient teachings of leather belts, there's an easy solution for this issue. You go to Home Depot and you buy like 30 mirrors and you go tape it around her room. Then you tell Alexa to repeat, I'm African American and I'm proud, for the next 24 hours, and she's not leaving that room until she's done with this nonsense. Just saying.
Okay, Treasure, how are you this morning?
Pretty great. How are you?
I'm all right.
That's great.
Now, you've been listening to everything we've talked about so far,
Yes,
right?
I have.
Yes, I have. Oh, flaky, fakey looking ass. You know Dr. Phil's about to spew that logic.
And is there anything that your mom has said or told me about that's inaccurate, incomplete, or that you want to add something to?
Well, I mean, actually, yeah. You guys called me delusional earlier, and I feel like the only people
I did not call you delusional.
Damn, it feels good to be a gangster. A real.
Boom, Dr. Phil does not take no L's. I'm fully convinced that Dr. Phil charges his supercomputer Megamind behind closed doors, and only the Illuminati knows this. I'm exposing government secrets, so if I just disappear one day in thin air, come rescue your boy at Area 51, cause I'm probably heading straight to Mars and never seen again.
Well, I asked your mother if she thought you were delusional.
Yes, well, you asked her that question. I would like to clarify the fact that I am nowhere near delusional. I'm actually very capable and a very intelligent person.
Let's take a moment and appreciate this intelligent person and take a little detour of her educational interview, shall we?
I'll never be like any of those Negroes. I believe that I'm completely and I'm utterly better than them. I identify with the Ku Klux Klan because the way they believe is just so smart. White is right. White power?
Being delusional and being intelligent are not mutually exclusive.
Well, I feel like if you're being delusional, then you gotta be some type of retarded. And I'm not that.
I think you're confusing the concept of race and ethnicity.
And that's exactly what I mean. Race is your genetic makeup, and that's resolute. You don't become another race because you feel like it. Ethnicity, though, is by definition your state of belonging to a group and culture, and she's combining the two. So by idiotic logic, Miss Treasure must believe that some of us are born with a ghetto gene.
I know I'm biologically white. I feel it through my veins and through my blood. I don't just think I'm white. I know that I'm white. There's no doubt in my mind.
Even though I have told you that your father was not your father and that you are actually African American?
You might be lying.
Honestly, why is this debate even required? Like, it doesn't take much to go buy a DNA test and let her see the results herself. Logic.
I know who I am and I know my race, and I'm a proud white person. And there's nothing, I feel it through my veins, like it's literally in my blood. There's no way. I don't believe that I'm white. It's not my ethnicity.
Treasure, do you
it's my race.
Final breakdown? This has been going on since she was 5. Her mom admitted she lied about her father, so we can assume that her stepdad must have been Caucasian. Thus, she grew up believing she was at least part white. She created her whole identity around that, and she lived a very different culture in the suburbs. Again, I assume that there was a divorce that took place which forced her mother to move her and the kids to the city, which had a whole different community and culture that Treasure was not used to. I think Treasure going to a new school and seeing a difference in social welfare, her experience of being in the suburbs, and her identity as partial Caucasian made her feel entitled and more well-off than the African Americans in her community. And when mom finally admitted that her father was African American, she obviously had an identity crisis with her own beliefs. And the first stage of any grief and loss is denial. Now that's just my assumptioning and my reasoning. There's still no justification for her to spew all that bullshit. At the end of the show, I think Dr. Phil kind of just gave up and advised the mother to have more strict parenting policies. I mean, what can you do? With that said, I just want to say thank you to all you guys for being patient and supportive during my college exams. I appreciate all the love, and we'll be back on schedule very soon. If you want to know what I do on a daily basis, have any questions, or just want to say hi, hit that follow button and give your boy a follow. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Have a great week, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Later.
I just been working my own, I get all the talking, I'm never too worried about them. Heard it was straight out of Atlanta, but I don't believe it, ain't really shit southern about them. Fuckers with all of the talking, fuckers with all of the bitching and all of the